Good afternoon. It is that time again. The chicken box is back. Good morning if you're on the West Coast. Good afternoon if you're on the East Coast. And if you're over somewhere across the seas, good evening. I'm Kevin Impeccable Peck, your host for today. My lovely co-host will not be here because they have former engagement, but I have a power-packed guest of friends that will be joining us today. The chicken box was created. If you're from Baltimore, you know what it is. It's 4 wings and fries and a half and half. Some people like salt, pepper, ketchup. But if not, this is the place where you get to speak your truth. Today's topic, everybody, is Black people versus Black music. Yes, it is still Black Music Month, and we're broadcasting live on the Afro-American Newspapers Facebook page. That's right. So if we tuned in, hit the share button, guys. We're going to be talking to some platinum producers, some platinum artists, and some, man, I don't even know what to say about this guy. He's an agent and a manager. So what I'm going to do first, before you hit the share, matter of fact, this is the Afro, I can't leave them out, but for 128 years, Black business has mattered to the Afro. Black music has mattered for even longer than that. And we're celebrating it here this month. So my first guest, so we can get right into the conversation, is my man from Philadelphia, Mr. Walt Reader. How are you today, sir? Junior.
Hey, good brother. How you, man?
Good. You gotta say Junior when your father is in the business as well.
Yes. Please, Junior. I love it.
A trailblazer in his own right. Yeah. Hailing from Philadelphia, CEO of BIGBLOC Entertainment. Why don't you just give us just a minute of what BIGBLOC means and kind of what you've been doing in the industry over the past 20-something years, and then we can get right into the conversation.
Sure. I own BIGBLOC Entertainment, which is a management and booking agency firm. And BIGBLOC, to answer your question, man, we want to have the biggest block, bro, when it comes to agency, especially from an independent standpoint. We want to control the narrative and make sure that we are a bridge between promoters and artists that have the opportunity to go and work. So we put together the agency. I'm also in the management side. I manage the good brother DJ Cool, Mr. Let Me Clear My Throat, who is from that whole DMV experience.
I didn't know that. I didn't know he was from here. Man,
yeah, he's from Washington D.C. all day. And so that's been my story, man. The thrust of my day is selling entertainment across the country and making sure guys like you are happy that your group is working. How about that?
Absolutely. He's the go-between between the promoters out there who promote the concerts, guys, and the artists. So he books tons of shows for us and other artists all around the country. Welcome to the Chicken Box. Next up, he was here last week, founder of Dru Hill, my good friend. I call him a little brother. He's been in Dru Hill since it was 100,000 members. Singing from City College. NOKIO, welcome back to the Chicken Box.
What's going on, man? Happy to be here one more time.
Man, that's a nice shirt. We're gonna have to see. Is that for sale yet?
This is the prototype, but yeah, it'll be coming soon. The NOKIO show, because that's what it is everywhere I go.
Absolutely. No matter where you go, ladies and gentlemen, if you have met NOKIO of Dru Hill backstage, it is the show by himself. He just gets on the show and creates an experience, whether he walks in the audience and he hugs people during the concert. Welcome to the show. It's Black people versus Black Music Month. And one other guest, your little brother, or your brother, and y'all not little, started out together. SISQO, welcome to the
What's poppin', man? You right, the NOKIO showed me on, man. I don't see how he'd be multitasking like that.
Absolutely, man. Glad to have you. Also, my little brother. We've been together for 25 years, gentlemen. And Walt Reader was one of the first agencies or agents that booked us back in the day when Tell Me was one of the hits. This is Black Music Month.
Was the only hit. That was the only one we was
That was it. We did it for 20 minutes. We did the whole song for 20 minutes.
With a leather outfit underneath a PVC jumpsuit.
Right.
Hilarious.
Everybody tuning in. Hey, Donna. Hey, Rochelle. Byron. Nancy. Let's see. Who else is hanging out? Man, listen, this is Black Music Month, which is every month for us. But we have decided to celebrate it as a country.
Is it though?
Nowadays,
is it though?
we Black and we do music all year long.
We absolutely do. I mean, we'll get into it, man. We got, we'll get into it.
So I was just looking through some things. What's up, Craig? And I found a video, and I wanted to start the show off kind of with this video, and it basically was saying some genres that wouldn't exist without Black music. Let's take a look at it, and then let's get into the conversation.
All right.
Man, welcome to the Chicken Box. We were just showing some genres of music that would not exist. I don't know if you guys knew that. Or
Man, that video could have been 10 seconds long. They could have just wrote one word, all out.
Sizzle.
Aerobics.
Absolutely. So if you just go ahead, what'd you say, no?
Except for some genres of rock. We ain't had nothing to do with that. But overall,
like the grunge and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, some of
you
that
talk about the origin.
Yeah, some of this they made this up.
Yeah, when we have Black music on a Black media channel and for Black men, all of a sudden your technology wants to act up. I'm trying to share it on my other laptop. Facebook wants me to change my password for the 100th time. But anyway, we're gonna press on, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. This is Black People versus Black Music. We have SISQO from the world famous platinum group Drew Hill and NOKIO, two of the founders, founding members, I have known these gentlemen since they were 14 years old. That's a long time to have any kind of relationship with anybody. They say a season, reason, and a lifetime. And obviously, God has kept us together for a lifetime. Walt Reeder Jr. from Philadelphia is a booking agent. And I don't know if people out there have ever heard of what a booking agent does. But before we get into it, I'm just going to let you just explain it real quick. And then we're gonna just get on the box, spend 30 seconds on the box just to talk about Black music or how we feel. Anything you want to get off your chest about how the industry has fared for us as Black men navigating as careers and lifestyles in music. Walt?
Yeah. So, you know, my day to day, man, I'm in a sales environment, you know, that just happens to be tied to music. You know, I in my office, we have a saying, we dial for dollars on the daily, right? So my day to day, man, is picking up the phone and calling promoters and seeing, you know, what artists they're interested in and selling them around the country, man, and making sure that we see good concerts, good content, good performers around the world. I bridge the gap between promoters, managers, and artists to make sure fair deals happen and that you know, everybody gets paid, everybody has a good time, and we control the narrative in our space for what we do as far as Black entertainment is concerned.
Man, that was one of the greatest commercials ever for a booking agent.
For sure. I had a lot of practice.
Welcome to the Chicken Box, Walt. You were right up the street. We off stage, we were talking about Philadelphia.
Right.
And NOKIO and SISQO will remember this and how much Philadelphia meant to us in the start of our career.
Okay.
And man, we go all the way back, NOKIO, to what's the studios. I'm missing it right now.
That's no.
No, I mean we were at
Sigma.
Yeah.
Sigma and Larry Gold. And Larry Gold.
And Larry Gold. Yeah.
We recorded 5 of the first records on Dru Hill's album, I think, in Philadelphia.
Gotcha. You know, Philly is a root for Black music. You know, it was big in the 70s, 80s. You know, Philly the International was here, man. So, you know, it was Philly International at one point in Motown. And we celebrated Philly because, you know, Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff had it really going on, you know, and they still do. You know, their publishing is ridiculous, man, you know, but they control the narrative for that time period of music. You know, all the greats were here. I mean, the Jacksons were even signed to Philly International. So it's a history of music, history of recording studios. We got some great producers out of here. You know, I love Philly, man. I'm born and raised here, bro. So, you know, I'm glad that you guys had the experience to come here and record your first piece here. Like, you know, this is your first and second home. How about that? You know, Philly loves Dru Hill. Loves Dru Hill.
Philly loved us before Baltimore did.
Facts.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Just like, I mean, from shows to just, you know, being there recording, you know what I'm saying? Like it's always been the place we jump on that train and be right there. You know, gotta stop, get a cheesesteak on the way back. You know what I'm saying?
I said that earlier. Yep. Gotta get a cheesesteak, man, a Philadelphia pretzel, man. Let's get it.
No doubt.
So this is Black people versus Black music. This is Black Music Month. We are 4 Black men who made a choice, all grew up in the inner city, who made a choice to choose art and business over the street. These gentlemen, I applaud NOKIO and SISQO. They came straight out of high school. As many of their colleagues picked other choices in life and maybe went, you know, decided to go to college, decided to get a trade, or decided to get a trade that was on the street, and they may not still be with us anymore, whether on the street because they're in jail or dead because of a choice that they may have made. So guys, I'll go back to the teens, since this is history, and this is we're coming up on Dru Hill's 25th 8 is Enough tour, which Walt Reeder will be booking coming in 2022 because we're not sure about the pandemic. But fellas,
shout out to Big Rich in Chester.
Give me a sense of what it was as a teenager, because it may be somebody else, to just go after your dream. I'm gonna start with you, SISQO.
Man, it was rough for us, but it was like we trusted each other a lot, because for some reason, and I was the oldest in Drew Hill, and Nokio was the youngest, but he had the most knowledge about the industry, and some of the choices we should make to sustain a career. And when we first got in the industry, it was really rough because I wanted to sound exactly like Jodeci. And so when people was like, "Y'all sound like Jodeci," I was like, "For real, thanks." But we were shooting for that. But thanks to to being in a group with talented and intelligent brothers, Nokio made it so that we didn't become Jodeci clones, and he made sure that that he wrote and produced music that would allow me to sing on different kinds of songs, so that Jodeci could be Jodeci, and Drew Hill could be Drew Hill. Because when we first got in the group, you was either Boys the Men or Jodeci, and everybody else was kind of second, third, B, C, D, and F tier or whatever. So right. I think it was, we had to go through a lot of, hate, where we literally would go into, like a radio show, and, a lot of the radio executives and DJs and stuff, they had loyalty and allegiance to Jodeci. And so when we came up, they really didn't want to give us anything. So we basically had to put it all on stage and, kind of take our respect. And I'll let you take it from there. Nope.
Yeah, man. And New York gave us a hard way to go for a long time, man. Like because of that, just that comparison. But I think that, just to finish this off and then go back, I think that like for us, it was like actually like when we first met like Casey and Dalvin, and it kind of like settled that, it was like, all right, y'all Drew Hill, like we don't think y'all Jodeci, and you know what I'm saying, from there, everything was everything. But I mean, going back to being a teenager, I still have the piece of paper from the first talent show that we performed in, and we had to like fill out this form or whatever, and it asked me, it said, what do you want to be? And I was like, I want to be a businessman and a producer and own a record label. And that was 92, and I did it by 96. So you know what I'm saying, it was really, I think that for me, like I never looked at myself as like the best singer, but I knew I had a mind for the other stuff because I got a chance to see the industry through this guy from here named Donovan that was signed to East West Records. So like I got a chance to like go up in the record companies and like sit in A&R and marketing meetings and stuff like that, and just kind of like have a general idea of stuff. So it was like, all right, well, like I'll take that role, and then that's what kind of like brought the balance to everything. Like everybody else would, like I might write a song or something and I'll be ready for somebody else to sing it. And then it's like, no, man, you go in there and sing it yourself. I'll be like, all right, cool.
Right. And by the way, I didn't mean to cut you off, man, but one of our biggest and best songs, one of the songs that is definitively Drew Hill, that don't sound like Jodeci, don't sound like Boys the Men, is my favorite Drew Hill song, Beauty. To which Nokio is singing literally all the backgrounds on that.
Really? I love that.
Go listen again. That's like all him. I think I'm singing like one note.
Love that record. I love it.
No, man, that would, I think that record was organic from the beginning, man. Like I always tell people, like it took me a year and a half to finish it because like I had to like finish living it out. It was like a whole thing that was just like happening in real time. So, I think that's why I connected with the people so much. And, became the only record that we ever had that, you know, is considered a hit that the record company ain't touched. That was All People. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
I didn't want to sing it initially too because it didn't sound like Jodeci. So
that's
that shows how much I know. Absolutely nothing. Like,
oh man, I think that, you know, it's like we took it, you know, like if you look, like we took Boys and Men and Jodeci, we took the best parts, and you know, we grew into ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think that like you're supposed to start out in the beginning looking at the greats and know that it wasn't no. I mean, I still remember to this day, like, you know, this year will make like actually 30 years since we started the group. And I remember when Forever My Lady video dropped, and it was like, yo, what in the world is this? And yes, like, yeah, I was down with being Joe. I wanted to be Devontae though, because I was like, I could write the songs, I get the girls, and I was more than that. So I'll take that one. But you know,
right, and here's the difference, because I'm sure this will come up. The difference between, you know, our generation of artists and some of the newer generation of artists out today. We give the props to the artists who inspired us. We don't pretend as if I don't say I wasn't trying to do my best KC impression. I don't say that we didn't do the best we can to pattern our, you know, career trajectory and songwriting to the things that we learned from Boys to Men. So, you know, I wish I saw a little bit more of that though. You know, with some of the newer artists, it's almost like they're afraid of the comparison, so they don't mention the comparison, even though we can see the comparison.
Man, sometimes, I mean, look, I get in arguments with my daughter sometimes because it's like dances or whatever, or like some song, and I'm like, do you know how old that's ours? Do you know how old that song is? Like, like what are you talking about?
The same thing they told us.
Exactly.
when we was teenagers, it was the same thing they told us.
Yeah.
So this is the chicken box, y'all. This is Black people versus Black music. And people want to know, what is the definition? What is your definition of Black music, Walt?
Black music is the essence of soul for me. You know, and soul encompasses, you know, good feeling, you know, and I think that's what Black music is. You know, it starts with the creative mind, it starts with the dream. And then, you know, it just has to feel good in your soul, man. All genres of music they don't always feel good in your soul. Black music, it's just the essence of like that heartbeat, man. You just know it when you hear it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
No.
It don't seem like we get to sing it no more though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, not in the mainstream. It's like, man,
you're absolutely right.
Is the word. Right. Because it's getting sung.
Right. That's what I said. It don't seem like we get to sing it. Like, you know, like you got K-pop get to sing. Anybody that's not Black get to benefit from Black music in the mainstream today. It seems like.
True.
The minute they feel like they can
sing a record. I'm sorry. Say it again. No.
They feel like they can market that better. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just. I mean, it's the same way when they weren't singing soul. It's like, you know, the other artists, they're gonna get developmental deals and all that, which means like a blank checkbook, and we're gonna get told we spent the money already, and they're gonna give us some more money, which is just part of the money we were supposed to have anyway. So
True that. You hit it right on the nose, bro.
I'm just saying, like if you take a white artist or, you know, Asian or whatever, and you already know you can sell that with whatever music. But then you put soul behind it, which is what people really want to hear. It's almost like what we need y'all for. You know what I'm saying? Man. We'll get y'all writing songs and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But we don't necessarily need y'all to do it no more because, you know, we can spend the money that we used to spending, which we don't spend on y'all, and we can still get the feeling of the music. So
wow. So there you go. All the Black people that's out there that's listening and saying, what happened to the music and where your new album at and blah blah blah. Nope. Once again, just broke it all the way down for you. They figured, why do we need you? We'll just, you know, take a cultural appropriate your music and then sell it to a broader audience. So that's why when you actually see us break out into like the pop market But when you actually get an opportunity to hear an artist of you know, from the community, make sure you support us, because it was very difficult to break through all of those walls and all of those barriers.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like you say somebody fell off, but in actuality, they might have just got iced out so that they could take what it was that artist did. And
well, let me jump on that point.
Somebody else.
We're the only culture that kicks our own artists.
Oh yeah.
Talks about our own artists.
Yeah.
We fell off. Fell off for what?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If these young men started something as a dream and they accomplished it and reached it to the highest level, what are you falling off from? What is it that makes us as Black people so insecure that negativity flows within us to the point that we have to always be negative towards one another?
People don't know themselves.
It's entertaining.
They don't know themselves and they don't love themselves. So it's like, how can you love somebody else if you don't love yourself? You know what I'm saying? That's really, you know what I'm saying? That's really where it starts.
That's a new song, though. That's the song.
No doubt.
Yeah,
I was just having a conversation last week with somebody, and I was like, yo, the Rolling Stones could go on tour whenever, and they will have a whole slew of teenage to 20-year-olds who just discovered their music because somebody played it on vinyl at a party. And it's 100,000 years later.
Yeah.
We go on the road. I almost cussed, my bad. Like you got it's like, yo, but let me go ask 5 people. Then let me go see if there's some videos on YouTube to see if they can still sing. And then they better sing all my songs when I get there. It's like, damn, can you just like the fact that we can still stand up at the Hopman for 25 years? I mean, like, we're going to get to the rest of it, but, you know, it's like we literally will, you know, what's my man who got the Margaritaville and all that, man, them people, the Grateful Dead, these dudes be coming out of crowd chamber to perform with brand new fans.
Right.
We get and don't even be a single, it'd be a big karaoke because they can't even sing the songs no more. They play the instruments and it'd be like, here we go, Sweet Caroline, or whatever else. We come out there, do the show. My man still do the flip, the one hand jam. We jumping, you know what I'm saying? We singing for real. And you want to ask somebody like, yo, when I go to the next show, can you go live while you there so I can see what is wrong with you?
Real music. Real emotion.
Thanks to everybody that continues to come out to see Dru Hill, man. Every time we perform, you guys come out. It's always sold out. So we truly appreciate it. I think, but it's always our duty to do the best that we can to speak on behalf of the community. And it's a lot of different artists and different acts that's you know still having a hard time, you know, booking shows. So let's just, you know, support us. Let's keep our community strong, like the other races do with their community.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think to add on to that too, man, is the problem with our music is that we don't pass it down to our kids. You know, those other genre of musics, especially from the concert and touring business, you know, like Noke talked about the Rolling Stones. You know, what they do is they bring their kids to the concerts. Right, and they introduce them to the music, right? In our genre of music, we use concerts as date night, right? The kids is home with the babysitter. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we don't share that experience. So as they get older, they have that framework already in their mind of what good entertaining is, what good music is, what a live band is. You know, it's like what we do in our race is we let the kids have their own. Right, and then we have our own. In other cultures, is shared amongst the family. You know, I got a 20-year-old in college, right? And you know what he listening to: the Baby, the Amigos, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, and all of that. But because I'm his father, he understands who Dru Hill is. He understands as far as like he can go back to who the OJs are, who the Osley brothers are, Hal Melvin's Blue Notes, because he lives in a household where he's introduced to the music. right? And I think if we do more of that as a culture, I think, you know, the essence of R&B soul music will go on, man, forever.
You know what? To tag on to that, you'd be surprised because man, sometimes I just, you know, I might have a Michael Jackson moment, or I might have a New Edition moment, and bruh, I play 2 seconds of that music, and yo, my kids, what's that? And they
Right.
6 and 9.
Yep.
And my youngest kids, they 6 and 9, bruh. When my youngest was 5, she heard me play "Cool It Now."
Yeah.
And dude, she heard like a couple seconds of it, and man, I left the room to do something. I came back, she had it on repeat, listen over and over again. Last weekend we had Michael Jackson marathon. We watched Thriller, and you know, she was like, "So you're saying you knew him?" I was like, "Yeah, that's the man. He the man."
Yeah,
man, that's amazing, and they love it. You'd be surprised.
Versus black music. Charlene, Yvonne, Nancy still hanging out. Lenore hanging out. We got Bonnie, Shelly. Man, thanks for tuning into the conversation. Mark had a good question. Mark Pinkney. He said, "Does music have a color? If so, what's that definition?" Before you guys answer that question, I want to say that black music was made through a struggle a lot of times. Back from slavery, they had us enslaved in a place we didn't want to be, but somehow we found out how to play drums, how to meet, how to sing. The music has always been not only part of the struggle, but because Walt Reader said earlier, Walt Reader Jr., I'm just gonna call you Walt Jr. because that
I love it.
so I'm gonna just stick with Walt Jr. So the music carried us through the struggle with soul and passion, and it helped us just cope a lot of times. And a lot of times when they come to even the Drew Hill concert, they say they have an R&B church, you know what I mean? And that's because it is this place that you go to that takes you away. And sometimes you want to be away from the kids. Don't get me wrong. It's cool to bring them to some, but sometimes you just need a moment to be away from that. And that moment, which is an entertainment moment that we don't take for granted, that you spent money that you didn't have to, it wasn't a light bill. Yeah. And you get an experience. And that's what happens a lot of time in black music. So to go back to your question, Mark, I don't want you to think I forgot what you said. Does music have a color? Guys, you want to tackle that?
I mean, I'll start with, I remember years ago having doing an interview. We were like backstage at some show or whatever it was. We might have been at a photo shoot. And really, it was like one of the first, like I was used to urban, you know, whatever it is, but it was like one of the first times that I like had heard somebody like say to me or use black music in like a sentence and like ask, and I was like, why do y'all call it, we were in Europe, and I was like, why do y'all call it black music over here? Like, as opposed to like all the other stuff. Cause I mean, like, we want to be honest, I'm like, well, George Michael was singing black music then, right? For real? Or like Tina Marie, or a whole bunch of other people, Elvis, whoever else, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, why do y'all do that? Like, I understand urban because we, you know what I'm saying, we come from an urban setting. Like a lot of the stories and the foundations, especially when we start, you know, the same way that, you know, from the struggle and slavery and everything, we telling our stories from like our struggle. So you know what I'm saying? Under that urban, they see, but when you put the color on it, it's like, nobody really says like rock is like white music. You just see a whole bunch of white people. You know what I'm saying? Like you have like Latin music, but that's a whole cultural thing. That means that, you know, that's deeper than just like a person. But like with black music, it's like automatically connected to a person. It ain't got nothing to do with, you know, our culture, nothing to do with the drums back in Africa, or, you know what I'm saying? Nothing. It's just like, I remember a time when I got sent to meet this real big music executive, right? Old school music executive. And another old school music executive had, you know, introduced me to him, and he wanted to give me a label deal. Like he was basically looking for somebody to pour this money into, right? So I go sit down with him, right? And 5 minutes into the meeting, he was like, yeah, man, I was really excited about meeting you because you know what I'm saying? You just know how to make music for your people. And I was like, man, what? My people.
Who are my people?
Exactly what do you mean? Needless to say, I left out there, and you know that was the end of that. But you know what I'm saying? Like that is it's the only music that's automatically attached to a person, and not nothing else that has nothing to do with the origins of the people, nothing we've been through, nothing. So you know that's my take on it.
SISQO, black music. Is it a color?
Does music have a color?
Yeah.
I can't really follow what Noke says. That was a really extremely deep statement that I agree with. But you know, once we sang "How Deep," which is one of our songs on the Rush Hour soundtrack, where we had like experimented with like a kind of Spanglish thing, and then we shot the video in Hong Kong. And then it ended up being our first #1 single across the board. I guess if music had a color, we used all of them in that song.
You go from black to see the thing that happened with us is that we go from black to green. And when you go green, it don't make a difference.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? But it's still like go over there and do what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? But we get the opportunity when we start making money, when we start keeping the lights on in the building, we're not black no more. We green. We green and we black and white on paper. And that's and the rest of it don't have nothing until you ready to go to jail, then you turn black again automatically.
Or when you start asking too much, or when you start asking too many questions about the money. He's like, wait a second. How come we got a call service? I told you I didn't need a call service out front, and I got a studio in my basement. Why you book a studio? And once you start checking them, then you become hard to work with.
Yeah,
absolutely. Walt, you want to answer that question?
Yeah, I think from the inception of a record, when you think about a record when it's created, man, you know it breathes to all people, right? I think what gives it a color is where it lives after that. You know, the acceptance of it. You know what I'm saying? What radio it goes to, who embraces it the most, you know, and then you get the culture identity of the record, you know, because
I don't know, man, because that damn thong song, they play that everywhere.
Right. There you go. And I feel the same way about like, let me clear my throat. You know
right.
It's like a universal record. Now, when he made the record, I'm sure like you guys, you know, listen. He might have had his people he might have had his people in mind when he made the record, but at the end of the day, it's where it lives. Now, you know, you guys have been afforded the opportunity that your music lives everywhere, you know, and so but some artists, they records only, you know, they only the hood. That's just the truth of it. They stay on black radio, they never get over the pop. And then, like NOKIO says, a lot of it has to do with also the marketing dollars that you get from the label, how they gonna push you. It's all about the green, man. You know what I'm saying? Like how far are they gonna take you into another hemisphere, or are you gonna just stay on the urban charts? That's really, if you want to talk about the business of it, you know, and you sign to a major, it's like, okay, you know, I feel what you guys are doing and we're winning in the urban community, but listen, this record can resonate other places, but the check only go but so far.
Absolutely.
Then you get to who the record connected to, who the one in the label that could take credit for the record for real.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you ain't. You know what I'm saying? It's like, was you in the studio? What? Because they don't want to have to say no. He did that by himself. You know what I'm saying? That go on. When Mo Austin sent my man from from was Asia, Steely Dan, to go to the studio to make sure Prince could produce himself, because they did not believe Prince could produce himself. And my man Walter Becker came back. He was like, "Yeah, he good. We ain't even gonna mess with him. He know what he doing." You know what I'm saying? But you gotta if you ain't connected to the right person that's gonna get the credit for that platinum record, you're gonna sit right where you at.
That's facts. They put the halt on my record, kept it from going #1, but then the record they had something to do with went #1. So
there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Look, 5 steps, and we're not making love no more. 5 steps going up the charts, but because the label had "We're Not Making Love No More," and I remember Diane Warren coming to me when we were doing Beauty, because she came to the studio because the guy produced Beauty was like her ex-boyfriend or something. So we sitting there, me, her, and the bird, right? And she like, "Nokia, what happened to you?" If y'all don't know,
the bird. It was an actual bird.
Yeah, she got a purse for the bird and the Aston Martin. So whatever. So you know what I'm saying? So she was like, "Nokia, what happened to 5 steps?" Like that record, like on the indicator charts that pop, I guess writers and producers, she was like, that song was ready to go through the roof. And I was like, man, they got us on that soundtrack, and that was their record. So, between that and them, it's like, we don't want to have to say it's the group record and it was Hawk record at the same time. No, we're gonna drop this out. And that was, we got #1 record either way, but that was the beginning of me having a problem with the music business. And understanding that it ain't really had nothing to do with how talented, anybody
or
is.
how good the music is.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, do I like you? Am I getting a piece of it in some way, even if it's just credit? Something? Am I getting a point or something that down the line I need that executive producer? You know what I'm saying? I want to keep my contract. It's running this label. It's just a whole bunch of stuff that ain't got nothing to do with nothing that you came here to do.
There you go, bro.
Absolutely. This is black.
That's called politics.
Politics.
Right.
Black
playing
people,
the game.
Yeah.
I like my game. I like video games.
Black music. We got 4 great
chocolates for him. He asked too many questions.
4 great men on this platform right now. Broadcasting from from the oldest family-owned black newspaper in the country. Shout out to the Afro-American newspaper. If this is your first time to the channel, visit us on afro.com. Now, this is a shameless plug, but it's not. A lot of times we say we love black, but we don't buy black. We don't support black. And then when another news entity tells the story wrong, you're mad at them. Yep. But nobody owns our boardroom. Nobody owns our pages, our front pages, or what we say and what we share about the greatness of black people that we've been doing for 128 years. So for less than 2 Uber each, y'all, please go to afro.com and subscribe. It's only $40 for a year. You get a digital subscription. If you like newspaper and you like a legacy edition, you can get that as well for $100. That is my shameless plug, and let's support each other. Think about it. Look in your checkbook and your ledger and see how many black businesses that you have supported this month. And if it is 0, now is the time to not only do it here at the Afro, but to do it everywhere in your community, because that's the only way, like Nokio said, we can keep turning black to green. Man, the conversation is getting great. We got 2 of the founders of Dru Hill, legendary NOKIO and SISQO, and also Walt Jr., not only DJ Cool's manager, but one of the baddest agents in the world. He books over, I don't even want to say how many shows you book, but it's in the thousands a year. Not thousands for Dru Hill yet, but I don't even think we could work 1,000. It's only 365 days, so we couldn't even do 1,000 shows anyway. But man, he's helping us prepare for this 25th anniversary. 8 is enough tour. Yes, 8 is enough, y'all.
Yeah.
Clearly, 8 is enough. That's how many members we have had who have been in Dru Hill. And a lot of other groups have gotten mad at that. And I said, we're a franchise, y'all. We have built Dru Hill is a franchise. It is not my fault if you don't have the upper management that can keep the team together, or
let's just be for real. Let's just be
better players.
Let's say what I said as a teenager. Well, I'll be like, look, all y'all can go home.
Right.
We're gonna keep going. I've been saying that since
it was 7. It was 7.
do it by
There
myself.
was 7 Negroes in the group before I even got in the group.
Yeah, we were straight up, like you don't even understand. I mean,
No
hardest
fun,
thing
like
about
5 dudes when I first got there, man.
all these dudes was like my friends. So it's like, just imagine being that young, and I'm trying to think ahead. I'm thinking the business. I'm thinking of the guys that don't really seem like they serious about it. And then like you gotta go to school. People want to fight you and stuff, man. It's not cool.
Yo, he used to carry a briefcase to school. Everybody else had book bags. He had a briefcase at 14.
Right. The beauty of it for me, guys, is that
in a full
it's only
3-piece suit.
Yeah, the beauty of it for me is that it's only one Drew Hill, though. It's not like you can go to let's see, you can't see Detroit. You can't go to Detroit and Miami and see Drew Hill at the same time. But with other legacy groups going back to the 70s, what has happened is you got so many spinoffs that they still use the name. And it gets confusing to the public,
okay.
Going all the way back to Harold Melvin's Blue Notes. And then you got another group out there called the Blue Notes.
Look,
you got the Intruders, you got the Philadelphia Intruders, you got the Stylistic, then you got
I just learned something.
You got Russell Tompkins and his Stylistics, you got the Temptations, then you got Dennis Edwards and his Temptations, I could go on and on and on and on. So, and when these groups call the office, it's like it's hard for me to decide who I'm gonna put on the road, because you want to get the best of the best,
Right.
Because my name
is
a
y'all got the nigga that I like. No,
right.
Can y'all put your name in the hat and we just pick out the best ones?
Right. But real rap, man, out of all of your journey, ups and downs, struggles, whatever, group situations, what I have loved about the unit is that there's only one Drew Hill at that time. There's not, a Drew Hill over here, Drew Hill over there.
Wow.
I mean, look, Walt, let's be.
Man, I'm using that, Walt. I'm using that.
Yeah.
The thought has entered the atmosphere before and partially attempted, but it usually just dies. So you know what I'm saying? That's what it's like. It's not getting off the ground, because as soon as somebody get the phone call, it's like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they ain't got nothing to do with nobody. I'm not like going at nobody, but it's just the thing. It's hard to do. Like, you can't go be like, hey man, I'm trying to do some shows and sing the Drew Hill songs, and it'd be like, but ain't none of the people that sang the song.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Don't work.
Correct.
We got lucky.
Correct.
We got lucky. And usually it's something that, it's been something that's just handled within and it be over with. Because I can't imagine, you're like, you got one group being Drew Hill and then you got the other group being Jump or something. You know what I'm saying?
Jump, man.
Yep. That's the truth, man. It's the honest to goodness truth.
I want to answer this question, y'all. And this is we've turned it into a kind of a Drew Hill conversation. They are Black music, you guys. They have historically reached pinnacles from a city that doesn't want our African American men really to succeed.
Correct.
And push through and been an example. And they've mentored a lot of people along the way. And not only did they break out of their hood, but they took it around the world to where everybody knows. I mean, we could have been named anything, but we chose Drew Hill because it was representative of Drew Hill Park, a place where we hung out as when we were younger. Mm-hmm. And that was a landmark that we in the city that we like to go to on Sundays and do, and then just have fun. Families go there, cook out, just a lot of things happen at the park. And they put, I'm not gonna say they put Baltimore on the map, but I think they made a big impact on how the world has seen Baltimore, because sometimes you had to go to only New York or LA to make it. And that was the same thing we talked about.
They put Baltimore on the map, Kevin. They put Baltimore on the map. I'm just saying.
Who did? Well, Kev Calloway and Billy Holiday.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, when you think about music and you think about Baltimore, it's like Baltimore club music and Drew Hill.
Correct.
Much. Absolutely.
All day.
You're welcome, Craig. You know, we're gonna represent, you know, those true people who are from the city and believe in their city. As corrupt as some of these cities are, we still represent because it's great people in those cities. So the question that has always been continually put out and was even put out in an article online was, when is Drew Hill going to do a versus? All right. And
yeah, can we answer that so they can stop asking me?
Well, here's the thing, right? Versus had to evolve into a space where it even made sense, because a lot of times you're attaching your brand to somebody else and they're benefiting from it and you're not benefiting. That doesn't work in a relationship, business or not. We all, like with Walt books a show, he gets his agency fee because he added value to the equation. He doesn't book shows just because he likes to wake up and it's a business for him. So all of the verses had to evolve and have a relationship with Apple to become a business. Everything got clearer, the sound got better, the production got better, and also sponsorship. Those people who come on there now are making money from sponsors. Now, had we just jumped on the bandwagon early on just because we want to run around and do something, that's not what Drew Hill does. But they said, can it be a Drew Hill versus Jodeci? And this article went on to say that Jodeci would kill Drew Hill, right? And so my response to them was that Drew Hill would win a head-to-head with Jodeci. Also, man to man, can no other group in our league handle us? I'm talking about if we went man to man, singer to singer in the group, we can kill every group out there. Now, I had to just run down the hit because here's the science. Tell me, in my bed remix, Never Make a Promise, Beauty, We're Not Making Love, These Are the Times, I Should Be, How Deep Is Your Love, The Love We Had Stays on My Mind, remakes, Love Train, what was the other remake? Anyway, Incomplete, DMX, What These Bees Want, How Many Licks, Unleash the Dragon, Got to Get It, Thong Song, plus all the records that SISQO produced for Maya.
What up, E first single? All the records that NOKIO produced.
Shout
now
out to Philly again.
list 20, right? I'm past 20 already. And if you want to sing them, you're done. You're done. I said it. That's right. Let me be the Don. Let me be the Don, whatever. The promoter of verses. Drew Hill will beat anybody in their class that they put up against us, singing or hit wise. And a lot of people say, "Oh man, I forgot about those records." You can remember them by seeing us at a city near you. So that was my verses part, y'all. So whoever wants to do it, I don't care who they are. That's just the list.
Man, don't nobody want to do no verses because they don't even be wanting to go on after us.
Absolutely.
Whoa, drop the mic. Did you drop your mic, bro?
Right. And don't look. Somebody said Wild Wild West alone, okay?
Oh man.
That's
they
true.
went with the Wild Wild West. Look, our hour is wrapping up, you guys. This is Black Music Month.
Hold on, let me say something though. Like for real, and this is something that like I've like grown into. Like I realized that like we could be a certain way about ourselves, I guess, or whatever as artists. But I know that like for us is like we had to do all the work. So it's like different, you know what I'm saying? And that's not saying that we didn't have like people around us that like helped and stuff like that, but like everybody else had like the super alley-oop from like Michael Jordan, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we was just, you know, having to work, you know, it's like wherever they would sing, like we didn't even have a demo. We just used to walk in record company offices and sing. And it's like, you remember how it sound, don't you? All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? It's like we take it, you know what I'm saying? We take it like a little bit different. And especially because like we don't walk into situations like being away. Like we know we be around people and they'd be like high-fiving in the hallway and they'd be like, man, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. And we ain't never been like that. We always been happy to be here. So I don't be understanding what a lot of this stuff is, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, and most of it don't even like exist now for real. I think it'd be more so like people around people than it is like the actual artist, you know what I'm saying, trying to like, you know, pump something up or like see something happen or whatever. Like we just be chilling. I mean, I say all this like I had a great conversation with one of the twins from Jagged Edge, like over the pandemic, about like it was like a real serious like 2 hour like conversation, and it ended off with like, yo, we need to do something like when the pandemic over. And you know what I'm saying? It's like people, I think people be thinking that we be running around like beefing and stuff like that, and it really don't be like that. I mean, we serious about our craft, so I'm gonna talk mess all day long about that. But just like as people, we just be trying to make sure that all us, because it takes all us to stay out on the road. You know what I'm saying? It's somebody that's going to like somebody else other than you. So it's like, if you can still be a part of it and you know what I'm saying, bring your fans, into the situation, we all win for real.
Right. I think also, man, Versus is on the stage, definitely. And I agree with Kevin, hands down. You guys with, anybody that comes on with you guys, you're gonna annihilate. I do believe that. But also the Versus off the stage is what people don't see. And I think you guys would win that also. Because you guys would win because you're likable, right? You connect with your fan base, you're stand-up guys, and you're honest. When you meet and greet people, they see the essence of a man that came, right, had a gift, used their gift, became successful in it, but you still touch the people, right, that come to your shows, right, that are on your internet pages. Right, a lot of your peers in the business, they don't do that. So the Versus offset off the stage, you guys would win too. Just me knowing you guys, all you guys, knowing the history of you guys, knowing all the group members, where you've been, where you come from, the struggles, the sacrifices, all of that good stuff, right? But at the end of the day, a lot of your peers, man, they're not likable to their fans to the magnitude of like. People, you guys are still approachable. You speak to everybody that comes your way. You guys be sweaty coming off stage. It ain't always that, not right now. You understand what I'm saying? It's like you guys got something special about you, man, that have allowed you to stand the test of time, bro. Really.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man. Yep.
Now you try to make us all teary. It's working though.
Right. No, man. It's real, man. It's real. Kev, I was in the early days, man, running around, seeing you guys. It's like, it's the truth, man. And, and I had the opportunity to work with all the bands. So I get it. But when it's something about Drew Hill, man, it's like, I would think you guys are from Philly because you got that brotherly love in you. You really do. You really do, man. You really do.
Y'all are out cousin in Philly, y'all. This has been Black People versus Black Music, with Black men in Black music who have chosen their paths, right? We SISQO, myself, and NOKIO have been connected. God connected us to not only be brothers, but to also to mentor, teach each other. And we've been around the world together. And I've never had to call any one of their homes or their mothers and say, your son is not coming home.
Yep.
And that has been a blessing in it. We've had a lot of fun. We get paid to travel, y'all. We perform for free. I'm just letting you know that. We get paid to travel because we perform because we love to do it. And we will continue to do it as long as God allows us to. But we got 30 seconds. Black music. SISQO, final words, my brother, on today.
Ask Nope how to get us on social media.
Look, man, Drew Hill for real on Instagram, Drew Hill Official on Facebook, and between there, you find all us wherever we at. You know what I'm saying? You see my man right there on the page at SISQO. I'm at NOKIO the entity. I had to take it back simple because people got tired of trying to find me in between all the other stuff I was doing. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, man, look, I'm just happy to be here, man. Like, for real. Like, just overall, like, the same way I was when I was, 17, 18, 14, years old. Because, like, I tell people all the time, this isn't like a 1 in a million chance. Like, it does not happen, for real. Like, it's not. Like, it's really like the sun, moon, and the stars, everything lining up and just like doing the work. And what we found over the years that a lot of people just don't want to do the work. And we stay willing to do the work. Dead tired, we're going to do the work. We could be asleep right before it's time to go on stage. And we're going to get up and do the work. And I think that's why, you know, we've been able to, you know, build these relationships and do the things we do. So, you know, just thank you to everybody that's ever had something to do with, you know, us being here. Because in the beginning, they said, we want to make you marquee artists. And that's what happened. So we ain't got no complaints over here.
Man. Walt?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just, you know, I guess it's only, you know, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to share the space with you guys. I appreciate you. And also, Kev, for the paper, man, anything that's for us and by us, not to take a spin off of FUBU, but Black owned and operated says a lot, dude, especially for all of those years. So kudos to the paper, kudos to Black music, Black businessmen, Black entrepreneurs. You know, we all in the struggle together, man. Some of us have different professions, you know, but we wake up, put our pants on the same way, and we get to it. So, you know, I'm just happy to present, man, for Black music, something I love, and you know, much success with the paper, bro.
Man, thank you very much, everybody, for coming on. Thank you, everybody who's tuned in and stayed with us throughout the conversation today. Mark, Stacy, Craig, Shelly, Lenora, Diane, Kiki.
I think
John,
Speedy was out there.
Speedy from South Africa. Man, people are tuning in from all over the world. We appreciate just your contribution, not only to the Afro, to your contribution to keeping Black music alive. And I appreciate the fact that Walt is spearheading Black execs, because a lot of times we are just the talent in this industry, and we're not the owners of the venues. We don't own Ticketmaster, but yet we make everyone else more money than they pay us to come to do the show. And so it is time, and I you know, I'm glad that you are spearheading that effort to connect all the Black agents. I'm talking about the competent ones, the ones that want to do business the right way.
Yeah.
The ones who want to do it with excellence. I applaud that effort, you guys. And man, it's up to us to support us. So Black Music Month, it's a big issue coming out. The Afro started something this year called We're Still Here. After 128 years, typically you would just have an article maybe about Black music. But this week, the whole paper is nothing but Black music. And so it's going to take you through the history that we have in our archive. We have things in our archives that no other place has on the planet, which makes it invaluable. So stay tuned for the information, and let's turn the Black to green and keep our communities thriving. Until next week, this has been the Chicken Box. I'm Kevin Impeccable Peck, NOKIO, SISQO, Walt Jr. Man, thank you.
Or light pink, or that skin tone colored money that's over there, euros and the pounds.
Right, whatever it's turning to. Let's just call it currency, and let's keep it flowing in our.
There you go.
In our community. All right.
God bless, guys.
I'll take half in Bitcoin.